Welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dore would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of BOBTV, that's freely up to you. Any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. My name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it. It's a big buzz going on about Jimmy Dore, who's a political commentator, who I happen to like his show and a lot of other people's show. Jimmy Dore had one of the members of the Boogaloo Boys on his show. And Jimmy is floored that a member of the Boogaloo Boys are pro-gay, pro-whatever, Black Lives Matter, pro-this, pro-that, pro-left. And that's great for that person. And everybody said, Rob, what you have to say about this Jimmy Dore situation? Look, I seen people go off on Jimmy Dore. I seen Jimmy Dore go off on people. It gets brutal. I hate to see it. I hate to see the infighting. And I know some people are trying to save him. They believe he's going to go out like H.A. Goodman and go full right and things like that. You know, honestly speaking, I think Jimmy Dore is trying to be Joe Rogan. He's trying to be open to hear from everybody, because he spent time with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan probably gave him the game on how to increase your viewership and become the top dog in politics. And Jimmy is on his way there. I got to give it to him. I mean, he's one of the fastest growing political commentators on YouTube. He's almost at 1 million already. And it's how he do what he do. So he had this guy on the Boogaloo Boys who talked about y'all want to blame it on white supremacy. You want to blame it on Black Lives Matter when it's actually you two leaders in government. You find yourself fighting and tussling and going back and forth over our freaking money. And we're sick of this. And we're not going to stand by and have this happening. Now, I agree with that brother in that statement. And yeah, I can agree with bigots in certain things. I can agree with Satanists on certain things. I can agree with Christians on certain things. I can agree with the women's rights movement. As I can find something I can agree with on somebody on just about everything. Don't mean I agree with them on everything. Now, this guy goes on Jimmy Dore's show. Now, my question is, Jimmy, are you trying to collaborate with Boogaloo Boys, or are you just trying to collaborate with this Boogaloo Boy? Because there's a difference between trying to co-op and come together with the Boogaloo Boys or this Boogaloo Boys. Understand, I know they used the example of Dr. Martin Luther King and JBL. Well, JBL had no choice. Black people pressured him. It didn't change his heart. He still was the bigot. Yes, he did some legislation that allowed immigrants to change them a little bit, but still was a bigot. He wasn't converted. He still had bigot tendencies. And yeah, I know we talked about the Black Panthers work with Confederate people from down south and stuff like that. You got to understand, at the end of the day, even though they work with those guys, you don't know who was in there infiltrating, like the Proud Boys president. I'm going to get serious. This is my last one and I'm done. There's a scripture say, bad company spoil good character. Bad company spoil good character. You can be a good guy, but if you hang around these bad guys, you ultimately will become a bad guy. And you can be a good guy. You can actually believe you're good, but you won't see how separate you are. You become one of these guys and you still think you're good. Bad company spoil good character. I know some of you guys don't read the Bible, but the Bible has some good quotes, some good true quotes. Association bring assimilation or similarity. Whoever you associate with, you become. There's a statement Jim Rohn said, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with. You are. You want to know what your wealth is? Add up the wealth of all 5 of your best people. That's how wealthy you are. Yes, you're going to have people that's involved in these groups that may not think 100% like these groups. Just like you got Christians who, you got the Southern Baptist Christian, you got the Episcopalian Christian, all of them believe the Bible, but they have different structures. They have different doctrines. But I tell you what, they're going to tell you, don't you go to that church. That pastor's going to say, don't you go to that church, don't you go to that church, don't you go. Me, I can go to any church because I'm kind of rooted, but I'm not going to be spending quality time in other churches because I know we don't believe the same. We may have the same foundation. Excuse me. I hope you hear that. Excuse me. Orange juice. You cannot collaborate with white supremacists, but you can collaborate with a white supremacist. You can do things with a white supremacist. That was the whole point of LBJ and Dr. King. But you have to have pressure over that white supremacist. You can't let that white supremacist have pressure over you. There's no coming in the spirit of unity. Now, you can find a common ground and build from there, but you don't build a movement on that one common ground. It's going to be hard to do that when some of them hate your guts and whether will have you die. Now, I know Jimmy had the brother up there that did the TED Talk, good brother. See, he did that individually. He didn't win over the whole clan. And he didn't invite the whole clan to be a part of his. No, it was each individual. Change your mind. Friendship, love, compassion, each individual. Now, for those who say you shouldn't even mess with an individual, you need to get away from that individual. Get out of here with that crap. I have another YouTube channel called Winning with Love with Bobby. Go check it out. I teach on love, and I teach on how to love people unconditionally. And I do teach how certain aspect of love, certain seeds of love can change somebody, but you got to take time out and put yourself in a position to sow the seed. If you don't take time out to sow the seed, that person will never change. Look, you changed because somebody sowed the seed. I'm more loving than ever before because somebody sowed the seed of love. I was hateful, angry, prejudiced, racist, homophobic. I was all that. Then I heard the gospel of love. And I am a carrier of that gospel of love. Now, love is tough. Love don't play. Your mama will whip your behind when you get out of line. She'll put you on punishment. And if you kill somebody, she ain't going to cover up for you. She going to put you in jail because it's better for you to be in jail to keep you from killing somebody else. Mama ain't going to play that because she love you. So I am not mad at Jimmy because he decided to bring this one guy in and try to learn from this one guy. As long as he keep it on this one guy. And if this one guy got a couple other guys like him that actually have that same mindset, fine. We can come together on some issues, but not as a movement. See, the problem is the left think there's the only way we can go, the only way to win for this country is left. You can't do nothing on the right at all. Not understanding that there's, Medicare for all ain't a left issue. No cost of education, not a left issue. Reparations, not a left issue, because there's black Republicans that want reparations too. It's not a left-right issue. It's a human issue. These are human issues, but the left think they own it. The right hate that. Who told you that? There's some rights, maybe more than need to be, that's anti that, but you don't know the voter, you don't know the electorate, you don't know the true right wing American. Not all of them extremists, just like all lefties are not extreme socialists, communists, Lenin, Stalin type people. Who told you that? At the end of the day, we all are humans. At the end of the day, we all want better for this country. And at the end of the day, we need to sit down and talk about what we agree on and go from there. Do that need, to meet with the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan and the whole Klan chapter? Nah, but I can meet with the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan if he's open to meet me. And I know some of you talk, I'll punch him in his mouth if I did, because he hate me, he want to kill me. Yeah. Me ignoring that ain't going to change that. Me punching in the mouth makes him hate me even more, especially if I whoop his behind. And look, I'm not advocating go hang out with bigots and racists. I don't like bigots. I don't like racists. I can't stand them. I can smell you when you come sometimes. I really don't want to have nothing to do with you, but there's times when on the inside, I hear, be a blessing to this person that don't like you, that hate you. There's scriptures in the Bible that tell you what to do. And a lot of people saying, that's why I don't support the Bible. That's why I don't believe it, because it's a weak book telling you to do something weak. No, actually, knocking somebody in the mouth is more weak. Being able to stand up against your adversary and your enemy, that takes strength. Being able to pursue them in love when they can't stand your guts, that takes strength. It ain't easy. And the average person cannot do that. It takes a remnant, and it takes to learn to do that. And it takes a person willing to put themselves in a position to that. So if Jimmy don't want to put himself in a position to learn from a bigot, that's Jimmy Dore. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Do I support him in trying to bring the entire Boogaloo boys into a movement for the betterment of America, like Medicare for all, no-cost education and all reparation and all that? No. You ain't going to do that with those guys, because those guys believe in anarchy and overthrowing the government. Most of us don't believe in that. We just believe the government need to make some shifts here and there. We're pro-government. We're not pro-government being over the people. And we believe the people will should be done, not government bureaucrats. And if you believe that, I don't mind you siding with me on that effort, but it's only on that effort. It's only on that effort. I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not doing all that kind of stuff with you because you don't like me. A lot of you guys want me dead. And I'm not going to be spending all my quality time trying to rally with you. But if you want to go on one side of the town and rally for Medicare for all, and I go on with Black Lives Matter or ADOS and rally for Medicare for all or whatever, that's fine. Because you want some things I want. That don't mean, we have to actually come together in one unity in one room and stuff like that and hug each other when I know you want to kill me. No. I can't change you. I only can change me. And I only can do things that may be a seed of change in you, but you got to water that seed. So I understand a lot of people mad at Jimmy. I was like, what in the world are you going to do? Just 1-2 people? No. Now, this guy, you talking about this guy, that's it. Let's just leave it on this guy and stop saying he is a representation of all Boogaloo boys, or he is the representation of all Proud Boy. He is a representation of whatever. He's not. He may be for some of the things that you agree with, but the whole entire organization as a whole, not the friend of black people, not the friend of a government that allows black people to advance. And I'm not saying the government allowed black people to advance, but they have allowed us to advance in some areas. They need to go further. We don't want this government overturned to the point that we're going back to slavery. We want this government overturned to the fact that it's doing better for black people. I'm not talking about overturning, like flipping the government over and starting a new government. I'm talking about overturning some laws, overturning some positions, stuff like that. Now, again, I believe in order for somebody to change, you first have to change. And you have to hear people out. You have to hear where they're coming from, because you may be prejudiced concerning that person. See, I had a friend of mine's dad was a racist. He grew up in that racist household. Then he met me. We became best of friends. Until one day we fought over the same girl, and he called me a racist word. I beat the crap out of him. I felt dirty. And I was like, yo, we've been boys, man. Why you call me that? He apologized. He felt bad. I said, look, I understand. I mean, that's been built in you on your dad. Even though his dad would let me into the house, I knew that he couldn't stand the fact that his son was hanging out with that N-word. But as his dad got to know me, his dad softened up too. Now, I didn't know anything about the principle of love. You know, I go out and teach on love. I do seminars on love. I didn't know nothing about love. The only thing I had was Leo Buscaglia books. Look him up on YouTube. He was a love guru. But because I treated him as my friend's father with respect, even though I know he was a bigot, he began to see black kids in a different light. See, a lot of this stuff is learned behavior. And if it's learned, as the guy said on Jimmy Dore, it can be unlearned. And there's going to be people that's going to have to take time to unlearn it. If you do find a connection with that person that thinks this way and they're hanging out with that, so you got to tell them, look, bro, it's not like that. You got to do whatever you can to do a change of mind. But understand it's not going to be easy. Understand it's going to be a long term. Understand it's going to be strategic to actually get somebody to change the way they think, because they spent decades and decades learning the opposite, learning how to hate black people, how to hate Asians, how and just call them ghetto people and all that kind of stuff. You learned that. Their parents taught them that, but it could be untaught, because it happened with me. Now, my parents never taught me to hate. But the moment I got out of the military and started hanging around the wrong people, I started hating. But it was that somebody talking to me, spending time with me, that stirred up love on the inside of me. Well, I started reaching out to people. To me, I try not to have enemies. And if I got enemies, I don't know them. I'm not looking for them. No, I'm not going to sit around and hate you. Even though you may hate my guts and can't stand me and you want to harm me, you're not going to get me over in that area. Like Bizzle said in this hit song, you can hate me, but you get no hate back. You get no hate back. You can hate me, but you get no hate back. You get no hate back. You're not going to get hate back from me. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit you with more love. And see, folks that walk around in hatred and animosity, they can't stand when somebody loves them. Oh, my ex-wife, boy, she used to hate, boy, she wanted to hate me, and I would hug her and agree with her. She couldn't stand that stuff. She couldn't stand it. When you get an opportunity where you see somebody that's walking around in hate, don't pray for somebody to come change their heart. Understand, if you see that person in front of you, you are the one supposed to start the change. Now, I'm not mad at Jimmy Dore. I applaud Jimmy Dore for talking to that person and reaching out to that person. But understand, Jimmy Dore, the group in general don't like my people. The group in general want to overturn the government. The group in general want to take this government back to the way it used to be. The group in general. Now, like that gentleman who want to be being a Proud Boy. You may be a nice guy, but look, bruh, the group in general is very aggressive. They look for fights. They start fights. I don't want to be a part of an organization like that. Keep it individual, Jimmy. Keep it individual. You should reach out. You should learn from one another. You should teach him what you know. Hear what he knows. Try to refute it. Have the debate. You might win him over. Don't fight hate with hate. I mean, when Roland Pulley Martin had Richard Spencer up there, nobody was saying that. I thought it was no good. I thought, no, Roland Martin, why you got this Richard Spencer on your show? And Richard Spencer hit him with some question. He hit Richard Spencer with some question. They begin to understand each other a little bit. Richard Spencer didn't change his ways. He's still a bigot. But he did say he can understand where Roland was coming from. Roland trying to tap dance all in. The point is, Roland had that man on the show with nobody killing him or getting at him and telling you wrong. Well, Roland wasn't trying to collab with that guy. He shouldn't even had him on the show in the first place to some people. A lot of people went to Trump office at the beginning of his, when he won the election. People was chewing him out. Black people were going at, Jim Brown. It was going at all these people. Rightfully so. What are you going to talk with a bigot about? Well, today, if Martin Luther King was alive, everybody would have been chewing Martin Luther King out for going in there talking to Lyndon Baines Johnson. My whole point of this is my view of the Dore Boogaloo issue is be ready to love somebody who's unlovable, but that's a learned gift, man. It takes more than just your thinking. It's not easy. That's why I teach it on my show, on that other show. It's not easy. It can be learned, but it's not easy. And it's going to be a long process because the more they hate you, is the more you're going to have to reach out and love them. Now, should you collaborate them in a movement? No. You got a lot of work to do before you can get that person over to a movement effort. You got to win them over first with love. That's why I named my program Winning with Love with Bobby. Google it, YouTube it, you'll find it. Winning with Love with Bobby. When you get to the website, go ahead and hit subscribe because that's something you got to win. And it ain't going to be an easy game. So, Jimmy Dore, I applaud you. If you're trying to win this guy with love to get him over to the left, that's fine. But understand, you ain't going to be able to do that with all the Proud Boys. You ain't going to be able to do that with all the Boogaloos. And don't expect it, okay? Don't expect it.